this is your fun living holistic health coach, Kim Sit. Thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 20, if you're listening to my podcast, or in this video, it is day 2 of my 28-day medical medium cleanse, which is essentially eating fresh fruits and vegetables for 28 days. So yesterday was day 1, and that went well. I didn't really have a problem with it. Now, the reason why I wanted to do this cleanse is because every year I always do a cleanse at springtime to clean out my body, just like how in the springtime I clean out my house. So this year, because I stumbled upon the medical medium and I was very intrigued by it, this is the book, by the way, if you want to get yourself a copy. I wanted to just try this cleanse. I was feeling very lethargic and kind of like that right now. I wasn't able to think clearly. It took me a long time to do things. If I go somewhere, I would say, what am I doing here? I would forget things. So if you can use the analogy of just cleaning out a drain in the pipes, that's what I'm trying to do, is put in less stuff, because digestion in the body takes up the most energy, so that what needs to be fixed doesn't get fixed as long as I keep putting certain things into my body. So I want to have less of a stress on my digestive system so that the rest of my body can take care of whatever else needs to be taken care of. So today I want to talk to you about fruit fear, and the benefits of fruit. So let me ask you, are you afraid of fruit? Or do you love fruit? Well, for me personally, I love fruit. I totally love fruit. I'm from southern China, and I grew up with these wonderful memories of just gorging on lychees and loving the smell and the juice of guavas and melons. So many wonderful, wonderful exotic fruits that I loved as a child, and growing up. Every year at a certain time, whenever it was seasonal, I would look forward to these fruits. Mangoes. Oh my goodness, if I were ever so lucky in Canada, papayas. But when I lived in Mexico, oh my goodness, was it ever to die for. I loved papayas. Fresh, ripe, sweet, raw papayas, as you can see. I love fruit. Now, in recent years, fruit has had a bad rap because, why? Since about, 2012, there's been a focus on sugar, that sugar is bad. Now, I'm not saying that it isn't. You know, if you've been following me, you know that I've put this Best Breath Ever experiment 2018 to stop consuming processed flour and refined sugars. But fruit sugar, and the sugar that is naturally occurring in fruit, is a different quality than the processed sugar that is extracted from a huge process in making white flour or high fructose corn syrup or any other type of sugar that's been highly refined and processed, and then packaged in with a bunch of ingredients that you might not be able to pronounce. So this is how the medical medium puts it, right? Why there is a fruit fear is because of the sugar. So he puts it this way. He relates sugar with water. Is water the same quality if you get water from the rain outside? Do you get the same water quality from municipal tap? Do you get the same kind of quality water if it's from a spring, if it's from a waterfall, if it's in your toilet, right? You get the idea. So that sugar in a pie or sugar in some candy is not the same sugar quality as it is in fruit, because fruit contains a whole lot of other things. So the first time I heard about fruit being bad, let's just use that word. I don't really think it's bad. I think really is. It's not beneficial to the body, was when I was trying to heal my son with his gut, leaky gut. That'll be a topic for another day. But fruit came to be the focus of removal. We had to remove fruit from his diet because we believe that, or the doctors, specialists believe that it was giving him excess candida, that it was feeding the candida, the yeast in his gut, and so which caused him to laugh out loud, hysterically, with uncontrollably, whenever he needed to go for a bowel movement. He still does that to an extent, but it used to be just really, really, really uncontrollable. And so they said we have to remove fruit and all sugars, of course, and refined flours, etc., potatoes. But in the end, what we're talking about now, though, that was then, and we did try a GAPS and specific carbohydrate diet with him, where he did lose a whole lot of weight, but he didn't seem so happy because he was, well, I think that he was missing that sweetness and that wonderful taste that fruit gives us and the antioxidants. So according to Anthony, he addresses a few things, right? Why do people not eat fruit now? Or why are people afraid of it? It's because it contains high amounts of sugar, which will make you fat. I believe that too, because one time in the summer I was eating a lot of cherries and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm getting so fat because I'm eating all these cherries. Now, if I ate a whole lot of cherries, like really, really a lot of cherries, that my caloric intake would have just surpassed what I normally should eat, then yeah, maybe I would get fat on that, right? Secondly, it's that the fruit is hybridized. Fruit is not good nor nutritious if it is picked unripe and then shipped to wherever you are. And that you should not eat fruit that is not local or seasonal to where you are. So Anthony, in his book Medical Medium, addresses these beliefs in his chapter called Fruit Fear. Now, he argues that pizza actually contains more sugar than fruit, right? And then the sugar quality is the different, as I mentioned before. And so I'll quote right here. It says, fruit does not have that much sugar in it. Fruits are made up of living water, minerals, vitamins, protein, fat, other nutrients, pulp, fiber, antioxidants, pectin, and just a fraction of sugar. So think about that, right? In fruit, there's so much more than just sugar, because there would need to be a lot of fruit in order to make the amount of sugar that's for a pie or even for your coffee, you know, the white sugar. And also hybridization of fruit has been done for thousands of years, where people would graft things, or they would use their hands to pollinate to help with the production of fruit. And so they're not to be confused with genetic modification. Hybridization is not to be confused with that, right? Because although heirlooms are still more beneficial and more nutritious, the hybridized fruit is still good for us and still contains many, many benefits. He also mentioned in his book that the upper class and the royalty used to thrive from fruit that was transported from another region, or because they were royalty, right? And most people who were peasants would not thrive and have a shorter lifespan because it's probably numerous factors, but he argued that it was because the pharaohs and all, they had access to fruit, and fruit has antioxidants, because when we oxidize, we get older and we age. And so fruit actually has the opposite effect that can neutralize that. So peasants would eat porridge, grains and dried meat or dried vegetables, but hardly any fruit. And then if fruit, so he addresses the next question, is that you should not eat fruit that is not local or seasonal, or that is unripe and then shipped to you, is that if fruit is truly picked early, it would never ripen and you would not be able to eat it, right? And it doesn't work with all fruits, but mangoes, bananas, they can be picked before they are ripe so that they can be transported to you. And I can tell you that I was very much one to to oppose fruit that was not seasonal. But living in Canada, most of the year it's pretty cold. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we have this ability to transport fruit from one place to another. So what's great about fruit? So eating fruit improves your longevity. So as I mentioned earlier, it has a bunch of antioxidants, and blueberries, he really pushes wild blueberries because they have this they can adapt really well, and they have this high antioxidant content that is great for your body. So I've been eating a lot more wild blueberries, and I've been giving that to my family a whole lot more, seeing that he's addressed my fruit fear. And fruit is anti-disease. So he also mentions that it's anti-cancer, it's antiviral, and has antioxidants. Again, that wonderful word to ward off oxidization. And for me, I find fruits are just truly easy and fast to prepare for eating. Imagine, I have a pear tree out there. When a pear is nice and ripe out there, if I want fast food, all I need to do is go out there, pick it, and eat. Right? This is not the fast food we're talking about when you're going to wait in the drive-through for food that was made in a plant, not just off a plant. And fruit is delicious. I absolutely love fruit. And they contain living water, minerals, vitamins, fiber, and good sugar. So I hope that gives you something to think about. If you've been thinking about fruit and that you've been avoiding it, think of all the beneficial things about fruit and tell me what you love about it. What's your favorite fruit? What's your favorite way of eating it? I would love to hear from you. This is your Fun Living Holistic Health Coach, Kim Sitt, and I will talk to you again tomorrow for day 3 of this 28-day cleanse. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.